Welcome to Food Processing Efficiency and Innovation with PROEX Food. Hello and welcome to the PROEX Food Podcast. It's been a while, and I'm, of course, your host, Nick Malio. And today I'm joined with the same guest we had last time because he's just that dang good, which is our friend Jay Cryer and our man in Spain. Hello, Jay.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
Doing great. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm going to try and focus better on one part because I watched our last one and I was looking up and down, looking at myself, looking at the camera. So I'm just going to look at you today, I think.
See, I'm just gonna mess with you. I'm gonna take a laser pointer and just start like going all over the place and see if you just follow that around.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I wasn't impressed
nice.
with my first performance, so let's hope today's a better one.
Hey, practice makes perfect. I'm sure this will be great. But today we're really not going to talk about anything too crazy. What we are going to talk about is a couple of the trade shows we have coming up because it's been a while. We did Fruit Logistica back in February. You weren't even with us at that point in time in Berlin. We typically do that show. It's probably our biggest show of the entire year, and we've done it for years and years and years. Nothing like landing in Germany this year and there's snow on the ground. I'm like, I thought I was trying to get away from that, but didn't happen. But we've got two coming up, and I think we just want to talk about those. And the first one, correct me if I'm wrong, but the party animal of our entire office, we are unleashing upon the state of Nevada, and specifically Partyville, Las Vegas. So we're going to Pack Expo in only a couple days. It's next week. And why don't you talk about that one, Jay?
Yeah, so I am flying to Las Vegas tomorrow. Very excited. I will be representing PROEX Food at the Pack Expo in Las Vegas. We will be bringing one of our conveyors so we can show people. And it's a good opportunity for me to meet some people in the American market. Obviously, previously I worked for a European company, a UK company, in fact, but a lot of the business that I did was in Europe. So that's where a lot of my contacts are. So this is going to be a great opportunity for me to meet new people, new customers, and introduce our new products to the market, and also talk to people about any projects they've got coming up over the next 12 months and how we can work together and improve their efficiencies with their current setup. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's crazy. We haven't done a Pack Expo in quite a while. We've attended them, and we haven't shown off any of our goods. And what we thought was going to be great about this one was specifically that obviously we have the vibratory capability now, which you spearhead with Mac, and there's such a great packaging application, and whether or not you're talking about general conveyance and anything that's going to go through an optical sorter before it gets into final packaging, or one of the big ones that we're anticipating to be of interest to a lot of people at Pack Expo is going to be the crosshead feeder, because that's such an integrated within the packaging world. And I know we talked about it a little bit in a previous cast, but could you kind of explain what that crosshead feeder is for everybody?
Yeah, so the crosshead feeder is a vibratory conveyor, which can be synchronized with the multi-head weighers. So the purpose of the crosshead feeder is to improve that feed efficiency. So you can control the speed, control the feed rate, but most importantly, we can control the feed position. So a multi-head weigher is an expensive purchase for companies, and it's it tends to be the most expensive part of the line. Why spend all that money if you're not going to maximize it? So with our crosshead feeder, we can ensure an even feed, which allows the algorithm of the multi-head weigher to work to full capacity by ensuring that all the pockets of the multi-head weigher are filled up evenly. So It's a small investment to maximize your bigger investment, which is your multi-head weigher.
Fair enough. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, but typically when you have a belt feeding multi-head system, or even just a shaker without kind of the cylinder we have in the end of our crosshead feeder, you have a tendency to overload one side, right? It doesn't necessarily spread out evenly, and that really has some performance issues.
Exactly, and also spillage can be a problem with the belts. With the crosshead feeders, it reduces your spillage. Like I said, you can control your feed weight, and also it allows us, with our spigot discharge, it allows us to feed the multi-head weigher perfectly central, which allows the pockets of the weigher to be evenly fed and be fully efficient. So we tend to see a very quick return on investment with these pieces of kit, just purely by maximising the efficiency of the multi-head weigher and reducing any spillage.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, so please, stop by the show on that one. And, our booth is going to be in the South Lower Hall for Pack Expo in Vegas next week. We're going to be in booth 6178. And Jay and also Ross from our group, who knows a lot of people in the US, are going to be there. Unfortunately, I'm getting the boot. I'm not being allowed to travel with you guys, which, honestly, a little insulted, but that's okay. We are only sending two people. We have a lot of things going on in the company that week, so it's really tough to have as many people go into the show as possible, but you're going to be in good hands with these two. So now that we've gotten over what you're going to be doing, the question I have for you is, as you're going to Vegas, is how do you feel about Elvis?
I'd say I'm a small Elvis fan, but because of my age, maybe I didn't get to appreciate him properly. But I've since found that some of my favourite songs are actually remakes of Elvis. So we've got UB40, a band from Birmingham where I'm from originally, Falling in Love. Love that song. Found out it was one of Elvis's originally, which I didn't know. So,
Oh.
you know.
Oh, I didn't know that either. As soon as you said UB40, I was trying to picture Elvis singing Red Red Wine, and it just did not
No,
work. But
not quite. But I tell you what, I was in Costa Rica in the middle of nowhere, just as isolated as you could imagine, jungle. Found a toilet on a garage, and they were playing Red Red Wine, UB40. So it was just like being back home.
I had no idea those guys were from the UK. I always kind of assumed there was a Caribbean beat going on there.
Yeah,
Fair
they're
enough.
from Birmingham, and also Robert Plant, the lead singer of Led Zeppelin. He's from my hometown, and I used to see him in the pub all the time. And I didn't even know he was
Really?
famous. Yeah, I didn't even know he was famous until one day somebody came over and asked for a picture, and then I asked him, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realise, but my family knew him really well. But yeah, I just knew him to say hello to down the pub, and it turned out he's one of the most famous people in music. So interesting.
A few people have heard about Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
Just a couple.
I've heard he was quite
Very
popular.
nice.
So yeah.
Fair enough. What is there anything else you're trying to see when you're in Vegas for the first time?
Um. Well, unfortunately, so my two biggest hobbies. I love MMA, UFC, and I love NFL, Carolina Panthers. Unfortunately, neither of which are going to be there. The UFC's in Melbourne on the weekend when I'm there, and the Panthers are playing in Atlanta. But I'm looking forward to finding somewhere to watch the game and watch the UFC with the Americans, because obviously, living in Europe, a lot of the time it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and we stay up for the big ones, but it's never the same. So I'll be soaking in the atmosphere. And I saw a bar come up where there's swimming pools and big NFL Sunday TVs with all the games on, so I might have to check that out. And also I want to go to the Top Golf in Las Vegas. That looks pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited. I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and there's not many places that I haven't been that I want to see, but Las Vegas was on there. So when I joined PROEX and they gave me the sad news that I'd have to attend this show every year in Las Vegas, I was devastated, but it's part of the job. I'll do what I have to do. And then also, whilst we're here together, let's talk about Fruit Attraction in Madrid, which is
Yes,
going to be in October, which I will also be
in
attending.
October.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and yeah, and we're gonna have a little bit of a different piece going on there. Obviously, that's a little bit more fresh fruit, fresh vegetable focused. I know you're going to be there. Ross is also going to be there, and then Adam, who's our sales director in EMEA, is going to be there, and we're going to have a translator too, since it's in Spain. Even though Jay, I don't know if everybody realizes it, obviously hails from the UK, but lives in Spain. But not going to be our translator there. We had to bring somebody else in, but that's a new show. We've never done Fruit Attraction in the history of ProEX Food. So this is going to be a learning experience, but we're looking forward to that and showcasing our capability there. But I'm assuming you've been to Madrid before.
no, never been to Madrid. Been to
What?
Barcelona. Never been to Madrid. I live in a small island called Ibiza, and I've spent limited time on the mainland. Obviously, I came to this island because I've got family here. But yeah, in terms of traveling on the mainland, not so much. So yeah, very much looking forward to that show as well. Different culture, different people, and unfortunately, my Spanish is not quite at the point where I don't need a translator. But luckily, we've got a translator. One of my friends is coming, so we'll be able to speak to you in Polish, English, Spanish. So again, a great opportunity for us to meet people in the Spanish market, find out what's going on in their industry, because what you find in the food industry is everybody's on a different time scale. Everybody's focused on different products unique to their country, what they're able to grow. So what we find in America will be completely different to what we find in Madrid. And it's a very good opportunity for us to find that information, find out what's important to people in the Spanish market, and really find how we can align our plans with what they require for the next 12 months again. So yeah, really excited. These expos is something that I've always enjoyed doing. I love getting to meet people. Obviously, I work remotely, which with technology is good these days, but it's never going to replace being able to meet people face to face. So again, really looking forward to that opportunity. And we've got our own guest list. So if anybody would like to come and be our guest, and they're coming over to Madrid in October, then please give me an email.
Yep. Yeah, we do have a few codes left for free admission, so I'm glad you brought that up. And that show's gonna be interesting. It's one of the more unfortunate things we have is we always try to bring a piece of equipment to our shows, and unfortunately, based on delivery timelines for some of our customers, the ones that we had that we thought were going to be available for the show, we end up having to ship them for installs, and we couldn't hold on any longer. So we're not going to have any pieces there. We had planned on bringing one of our fresh market huskers, a lot of corn within Spain. We had hoped to bring some Vibratory. Those all shipped out. So it didn't quite work out, but we're going to have a lot of video content and, of course, our engaging staff going on there. I've never been to Madrid either. I was really hoping that one's going to be the one I could go to, but not happening this time around. Also been to Barcelona. But
I will have a beer for you in Las Vegas and Madrid in your honor. Don't you worry about that.
appreciate that. I feel like it needs to be wine and olives when you're in Spain, though.
I don't like either, so I'll have a couple of beers for you, maybe some tapas as well. So I'll be thinking of you. But yeah, we're excited. Unfortunately, like Nick said, we can't bring the equipment that we wanted to bring. You know what it's like in our industry. We make bespoke systems, so we don't stock much equipment because everything tends to be bespoke and made for that individual customer. Logistically, it was going to be too difficult to get it over there. But I'll have my iPad with me, with all our customer videos and our database and all the information, all that good stuff. You've just ordered 2 big screens for the show, haven't you, Nick? So we'll have plenty of our videos. And yeah, we're just looking forward to getting to see people. We'll have a little space for meetings on the booth, so you can come and talk to us direct if you want to talk about a project. or it's just a good opportunity to come and say hello, get to know each other, and we can keep in touch then and discuss any potential projects and opportunities.
Absolutely. And you should probably be happy that I'm not going to this show, Jay, because last time I was in Spain, which was quite a while ago, I think it was somewhere in the 12 to 15 year range. And it was either February or March, and I was in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And while I was out there in Barcelona, they got their first measurable snow in like 35 years. And it shut the whole city down.
So you brought it
And
with
it was
you.
crazy. I did. Well, then we went to Sevilla and it was like, I don't know, 35°C or something like that. It's like 90 plus Fahrenheit.
I think Seville's
So,
one of the hottest places on the mainland.
mhm.
But I don't think even you could bring snow to Las Vegas next week. I've been looking at the forecast and it's upwards of the high 30s. So I'm
Okay.
intrigued to
So yeah,
see.
that's 90s. Yeah, 90s up.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and Ross said to me, "Don't forget your dinner jacket." It amazes me that people wear dinner jackets in 40-degree heat, but the sacrifice people make for fashion. But yeah, it's been a while because we don't tend
Well,
to wear those in Ibiza.
well, just don't forget, Jay. Once you're in Vegas, once you're in these resorts, it's going to be cold because they want you to be very comfortable and never to leave. So
Yeah.
it's when you're outside, it's warm. When you're inside, it's quite chilly. Well, let's say comfortable, but it's chilly.
Well, I'll just
So
be everything on black straight away, and then I'll be off to experience Vegas. But yeah, I'll be at the show Monday to Wednesday. I'll be landing Friday night. So again, if anybody is coming early and they want to meet up and discuss any projects, I'll be available. And I don't leave until Friday morning. So I'll actually be there for 7 days, and I will be available before and after the show. And yeah, it's just exciting. So
yeah. Well, and make sure you talk Ross into going down to the Fremont Experience, or AKA Old Vegas, the original downtown.
yeah,
There's some interesting things you find in the Fremont Experience. It's one of my favorite places to go to whenever I'm in Vegas.
yeah, I'm looking
He
forward
doesn't
to.
quite have the same desire to go there as I do, but last time I was there, I actually tracked it down when we did we attended one of the Pack Expos out there and had some fun.
I
And then
think
we actually went to
Ross has been a few times, hasn't he? So I think the novelty's worn off for
a
him.
few.
But I shall be dragging him around. Don't you worry. There's a few things that I want to see. So I will be definitely dragging him around, and he can be my tour guide. So yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just excited to get there. I'm staying in the Boulevard. I'm staying at a casino resort on Las Vegas Boulevard. So I'm assuming I'm quite, close to all the action. So
Oh
if
yeah,
anyone wants to meet me for a drink, I'll be available for that as well. So
gotcha. Yeah, yeah. If you hear people call it the Strip, that's going to be what everybody calls it. So the big main drag. And don't forget what a hotel looks like. Oh, it's next door. It's not that far away. It'll take you like a half an hour to walk there.
yeah,
They're massive buildings and they're very deceiving in how far away they really are.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a fun place to go.
yeah.
Not for kids. I don't
I'll
no
up,
kids in Vegas.
I'll
Mm-mm.
update you on the how it went next time we do a podcast. But we also just one thing that
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about as well today, just whilst we're here, was standardized conveying. So one thing that we are exploring as a company is offering standard sized conveyors. The reason for this is it allows us to massively lower the lead time, because traditionally at the moment an inquiry will come in, we'll have a meeting, we'll discuss all the specific details of that project. We will then go back, review this with our engineers. Maybe a design engineer will come back then and sit with the customer. We start working it out. We quote, we go back. All this obviously adds to the lead time. So one thing that we're looking at is to standardize our designs and our sizes for certain conveyors, which will allow customers to purchase off the shelf on a much shorter lead time. And this will be shipping out worldwide. So not just the American market. So that's another exciting thing. We'll still be offering the bespoke solution, the tailor-made solution. But if you're looking to spend a little less and you're on a shorter lead time, then that option will be available to you shortly. So that's just what we're doing at the moment. We've got our team putting all the planning in place to make that happen.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And there's, like you mentioned, the lead time is the big one. And, we have a lot of expertise in this, and we haven't, as a company, sold many of these for very long, but you and Mac have been involved in this industry for a very long time. And Mac's got over 10 years of engineering and delivering and being in charge of the quality, delivery, maintenance, et cetera, of these units, service of them as well. And so what we're doing is kind of an 80-20. And we're going to look at, kind of the base and pan size and length that is pretty much would suit 80% of the inquiries would come in. And since we have that large baseline of delivery, that's really going to help quite a bit within those pieces. So, just another way, we know sometimes a belt goes down, a conveyor goes down, that can be really devastating to an operation in the middle of a pack. So the goal of this is to be able to be extremely responsive to our customers and to deliver a very high quality product fast. Because like you were talking about, in that entire bespoke custom world, the rounds of revisions have a tendency to approach 7, 8 rounds of revision before everybody agrees, locks in, guarantee we're going to get a request at the 11th hour. Hey, actually, we want to make a slight modification. I mean, it does happen, and there's going to be applications where that still needs to happen, but there's so much time and cost that goes into that. And we just want to make sure it's easier and more accessible for our customers to get into these units.
Yeah, it's just going to streamline the process, because although some companies require bespoke solutions, some companies are able to work around it. And like you touched on there, it just makes the whole process a lot more straightforward. Okay, you want conveyor X, brilliant. This is the spare package. This is the lead time. This is the capacity. This is the products that it can handle. Brilliant. There's always going to be people that come to us with specific products that need a tailored base. Maybe it needs a certain finish. We might need to run in-house trials and make sure. So we're never going to eliminate that side of the business. But what this does is it allows us to be accessible to a different market now, because we're going to be able to be a little bit more cost effective because of the design time that's being taken out of these machines, because they won't be bespoke. So it allows us to lower the lead time, lower the price slightly, and provide a product that's available very quickly to our customers. So it's business as usual on the bespoke side, but it's exciting that maybe we will be able to offer our services to startup companies, maybe companies that are looking to lower their costs, that don't need the expense of a complete bespoke system. So yeah, it's exciting times, and we're one of those companies that's always looking to adapt, and we listen to our customers and we find out what's important to people when it comes to purchasing equipment. And our focus is on a premium product and a premium service from start to finish. Whether that's with our bespoke systems, with our standard systems, you're going to receive the same quality and the same great service and the same post care. We're not the kind of company that's just going to install the equipment and say, right, see you later. We're always available. We will be calling, making sure that you're happy. And if for whatever reason there is an issue, we are very responsive. Sometimes you can give people the best equipment in the world, but if it's not being maintained properly by operators and it's being run at the wrong speeds, for example, there could be issues. But like you said, we've got a head engineer in this department at PROEX that worked with me at one of the UK's leading conveying companies. He's got over 10 years experience of designing and manufacturing these machines. And I've obviously got over 6 years now in the industry, selling these systems. I know what's important to customers, and I always make myself available to customers any time of the day if they need me. And if there is any issues, I will make sure that they get the best service and it's fast. And yeah, what we want is happy customers that come back and purchase off us year after year. So it's in our interest to make sure that you're happy with everything that you've purchased from us. So yeah, it's just exciting that we're growing a department, and we're looking at different ways that we can compete and expand into the industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is exciting times, and we're talking about that centralization on more than Vibratory too. So I can't wait till we have more to talk about with that. But we do have such a strength within the experience of our engineering staff. They've done so many installs across so many different pieces. They just have a wealth of knowledge on ways we can bring those efficiencies to our customers. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, so just to touch on that really quickly. So the foundation remains very similar in conveyance. So you can come to us for a conveyor, but we expand on that so we can do inspection conveyors for with reject lines on the side. We can do glazing conveyors. We can do grading conveyors. So recently done a project with a sweet company. So we designed a double deck grading system. So it goes into two different stages, where initially the small size product is removed, then the oversized product is removed, and then all that's left is the perfect product. So we do many different things. We do lining conveyors, which are designed to line a product before it goes on to, say, a pick and place system. So this is brilliant for automation. We still see a lot of companies where they've got operators on the line whose job is to make sure that there's a separation. It could be 5 mil, it could be a centimeter, whatever it is that's required for that product, for that robot to recognize it. They're still manually doing this, whereas we provide a system that's fully automated that will remove these operators off the line. It will separate the product, and it will allow the robot pick and place to recognize each individual piece. And just one last product whilst I'm on here is the Cluster Buster. Very popular machine. Why is it popular? Because so many companies that are dealing with frozen product have still got operators manually separating these blocks. And not only is this time consuming, it's expensive in labor. You're always leaving yourself open to an injury claim. How many companies, I'd be rich if I told you if I had £1 for every company that came to me after they'd had an insurance claim and say, Jay, we want to make sure this never happens again. What can we do to automate this process? Unfortunately, it's too late by that point. Yeah, you're protecting for the future, but we want to help companies protect themselves today before you get to that point. So we can design a system where this block of products, a 20-kilogram block of, let's say, frozen, it could be any frozen product. We've done it for chicken, we've done it for fruit, but let's just say you've got a 20-kilogram block of frozen fruit. We can put that into a system where we elevate the block, which then gets fed into a two-part system. So we've got the block breaker first, which will initially break the block into pieces small enough to then be fed into the cluster buster. Then the cluster buster operates. That then separates it down to individual pieces. And then this is then fed onto a grading conveyor, which can then remove any small little fines or any frost or ice that's left. And then at the end, you're left with a perfect product that's not been damaged. You haven't had any operators having to manually lift and separate these products. I've seen people using hammers. I've seen people just putting them above their head and throwing them down. There's no need to do this. The return on investment on this is very clear, because we can remove these operators for you. And the cost of operators is going up every year. So now is the time to invest in your future. Spend the money now and reap the rewards over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. A lot of our equipment lasts 25 plus years. And that's the amazing thing about vibratory conveyors and some of the other equipment that we do. They're very low maintenance. So you might look at the start and you might say, well, I could get a belt for this and I can get a vibro for this. Why would I spend the more money? It's the cost of ownership. The cost of ownership is really where you see the benefit with the vibratory conveyors. That and the fact that they're so easy to clean. So you think you're saving the downtime by not having to maintain them. The belts are very expensive to replace the parts. The hygiene is very difficult on a belt. You know, we've seen companies that were using belts for chicken, and that they were having to stop
Build
to
up
hygiene
underneath.
every few hours because of obviously the risks. Whereas with the vibratory conveying, because of the way that they're designed, they're so easy to clean that wash down can be 5 minutes. And the other good thing about the vibratory conveyors is if that, for example, you're using a product like peanuts where you have to be very careful between contamination, we can design conveyors with removable screens. So the deck remains the same, but the product contact parts is completely removable. It can be color coordinated. So, you know, you've got product A, okay, so we're going to get the, you know, the blue marked screen and conveyor, and then you switch it over. Okay, we're going to get the red, and this eliminates that risk. So, you know, although it can be daunting at first when you look at a full system like a cluster buster, or you know, and it can be a lot cheaper to just go and get belts or quick fixes. What we find is that the customers that do purchase with us are very happy because although the initial outlays there, they start to see the savings. You know, 2 operators here, an extra operator there. You know, you can be looking at 25,000 plus per operator a year at the moment. So, you know, you're looking at a return on investment, even on a big, massive system of only 2 years. So this is an exciting time. Automation is the way forward. We found out with COVID that you don't want to be too reliant on people. So now, if you're a new business or an established business that's thinking about investing in yourselves and protecting yourself for the future, come and see us. And we always future-proof our equipment. So you might be a small operation now, and you might say, "Look, this is all we can afford now, but in the future we want to expand." We will take that into consideration when we design your system. So that's not something that you need to worry about. We will happily work with you to make sure that as you grow, we can help your equipment meet the demands that come with that. You know, certain companies will ring us up and say, "We've just taken on a new product. You know, we need this quickly. We want the contract. Christmas is coming." Of course, that's what we're here for. We will work with you and provide you a solution as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Yep, and we are constantly doing that. I know Aaron here is just about to leave for another trip. It's like the second of a 3-tier plan that we have for them on expanding the line or adding additional automation, whether or not it's, you know, all the controls integrations. He's working on a bunch of robotics and vision system work right now. We have for a couple deliveries coming up this year, so a lot of things going on.
That's the great thing is that we've got our own in-house R&D team. So,
yeah,
you know, you might look on our website and you might think, "Oh, okay, these guys don't really offer what I need." Come and speak to us, because we regularly design bespoke systems for companies that have come to us with something that we've never done before. That doesn't mean we can't do it. We've got some great engineers, we've got some great minds, and you know, I said it on the last podcast. We're not a pushy sales company. You come and speak to us. We are solution providers. We want to help you find the right solution. And even if you just want to pick our brains and say, "Look, I'm not looking to purchase at the moment, but this is the space I've got. How do you envision our production line looking?" Come and see us. We've got brilliant, you know, it's not me. It's not me that'll be helping. It'll be engineers. You know, my degree is business. That's what I specialize in. But I can definitely connect you with the right people in our company, and you know, we'll do anything that we can to help you.
absolutely. All right. Well, we're not going to keep going today because you have to start getting ready for a trip. But just want to remind everybody, obviously next week in September, and this is 2023, we've got Pack Expo going in Vegas. We're going to be in the Stealth Lower Hall and booth 6178. And then in October, just a few weeks from now, we're going to be back at Fruit Attraction in Madrid. And we're going to be in Hall 8 and stand 8, D as in David, 27A at that show. So we look forward to having everybody there. And you know, I can't wait to have a recap with you and talk about what crazy hijinks you got into in Vegas and what you think about it. We'll get in. We'll talk about. I don't know. I don't want to talk about quarterbacks anymore because I'm a Packers fan, and for the first time in my life, we don't have a. Well, I wouldn't say that. We didn't know what was going to happen with the last two, but
This
It's
is the
going to be interesting.
this is the time of the year where everyone's positive. I speak to you on Monday, maybe a different story, but this is the time of year where the dream's alive for everybody. So enjoy it for the next 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. Until kickoff. So perfect. All right. Well, Jay, thank you as always for joining me. Appreciate it. Great conversation, and can't wait to have our next conversation. They're always fun.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, and I hope to see lots of our great customers over the next 2 months at the different shows. And just remember, you can always get me at JAY Cryer CRYER at proexfood.com. And there's also a link in my email if you ever want to book a meeting with me. So thank you for your time, Nick, and I'll speak to you next week after the show. Thanks, everyone.